Hi guys, my name is Mari and today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw this Oski. It's one of Berkeley's most famous Oski logos. I'm going to put the pin right here next to this little drawing of Oski's, and that's going to show you what it's going to look like. The first thing you'll need is a blank piece of paper like I have here, and then a pencil. I'm just using a regular mechanical pencil, and then a black marker. I am choosing to most likely use this expo marker so that you guys can see my recording, but you can use a regular marker, and totally if you want, I'm not going to be coloring it in, but you can color it in after you're done. So let's get started. So Oski has a little bit of a weird oval head. So we want to see, this is about the middle. I'm going to draw it around the middle. Oski's kind of got a kind of two half head where the bottom half is going to be bigger than the top, kind of like a chipmunk. So Oski's got some cheeks. And so as you can see, I did a rough sketch of just a little head, and the cheeks go out a little bit more. Then Oski has ears. His ears are just kind of half circles, so imagine you're drawing like a full circle right here. About 1/3 of it will be cut off behind the head. So as you can see, this is a circle right here, but this is the ear we're going to use. The same on this side. I'm not going to draw the full circle again, but you can see that there's an imaginary circle that's hiding behind his head. So that's about Oski. So the first thing that we want to do is look at Oski and make sure that his head shape looks about right to us. If it doesn't to you, you can make little adjustments. But ultimately, Oski's going to be beautiful no matter how we draw him. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the eyes. So the eyes are always, no matter what you're drawing, if it's a human or Oski, the eyes are going to be in the center of the head. So I'm going to start, and if you can see here, he's got really arched, angry eyebrows because he's scary and he's going to go fight some trees. So he's got some scary eyebrows that we're going to put first as our mark for where the eyes are going to go. You see? And then we're going to draw a line underneath that's a little curved to show where the bottom of the eye is. And we're going to finish this off with a circle, a sort of round side. And there we have Oski's eyes. It's never perfect when you first draw it, so be patient with yourself. I drew them kind of like butterfly wings, but I will be fixing them as I go along. We're going to do the pupils next. The pupils are circles, just like the last time. Drawing is a lot of shapes. So we're going to draw a circle, and it's going to be cut off a little bit. So like 1/4 of the eye will be cut off. So you see how I drew the full circle? I'm just going to erase it, and so you only see this part. And then he has a little sliver of reflection in his eye, so it's going to be a little white space. So that's Oski's first eye. Oski's second eye, his eyes are just in the middle of his iris is just in the middle of the eye, which is nice. And this time I just drew the little pie sliver inside, and there's my circle. So for Oski's nose, then, you are going to have a little oval. You can make it as big as you want, but if you can see, I don't know if you can see, my drawings are not clean. They have sketchy lines everywhere. That's okay. Drawings are not supposed to be clean. And so what I'm first going to do is I'm going to find the middle of his nose. And I'm going to do a little point, kind of like I'm drawing a curvy V. And here I'm going to take this curve down and add a little here, and take this curve down and add a little here. So it looks like you're drawing the Batman logo. I hope we don't get copyrighted for that. And then Oski has a mischievous smile. That's one of his #1 characteristics. And so we're just going to draw a smile. If you want to make the face as symmetrical as you can, so like if there's a line down the middle, you want the mouth to be kind of in between, and he has one little dot here and one little dot here, and then he's got these cute little dimples. So now that we have most of Oski's face, he looks terrifying, but that's okay because we're gonna be drawing a little bit more to make him look more homey. And so he is going to have the inside of his ears. We're just going to follow in this circle pattern that we did and cut them off here. I don't know if you can see. We're gonna make them kind of cut off round. You'll be able to see better when we do that with the marker. So just keep following along. So Oski has his ears, he's got his eyes. We're gonna add some eyebrows. They're just gonna be little nubs here. And then Oski's finally, he has a hat. The hat is probably the hardest thing to draw. What you're gonna do first is I'm gonna draw the base of the hat, and it's kind of a semicircle, kind of like the smile. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna draw the top of the hat in the same kind of angle that you did the bottom one, but just a little bit longer. So the perspective of that is it's gonna curve down and in and down and in, and then it's gonna have a little circle on the top that's the opposite of this one, this line right here. So kind of the same curve, but just opposite, and it's gonna have a little ball on the top, and it's gonna say cow. So we can keep adjusting it as we go, but I'm going to start with my marker so that you guys can start to see better what I'm doing. So let's start with Oski's eyes, because that might help us see it better. Let's start with his pupils. So his pupils are circles with a little sliver. Let's color those in. And this one too. Pupil with a little sliver, and color it in. Okay, and then Oski's got his eyebrow. So I'm going to make it a little bit more aggressive because I think Oski's kind of scary. He's got this point to him. So I'm going to make this line a little bit thick so that we can see really Oski's like angry eyes, and I'm gonna curve his eye in like this. Once I do that, I'm going to go in and get the bottom of his eye and add a few little dots right here. Okay, and now we're gonna do the other eye. So again, make it a little angry. I don't want the circle to connect, so I want, because in the picture it's a little disconnected. So he's got these angry kind of eyes. The eye comes in like this, and then again finish it here. We're gonna add a little shadow here and a little shadow here, and then again little dots right there. So those are Oski's eyes. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do his nose. So I'm gonna outline his whole nose first, and then I'm going to leave a little white sliver here because that's the reflection in his nose. But I'm going to color around that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Your Oski drawing obviously will not be perfect, but it's your own, so that makes it fun. And then we are going to do the corners of his smile and get his smile in there. And the lines are pretty thick, so that's what makes him look so cute. And then he's got a little shadow on his chin right here. And then now that we've got most of the structure done, we could start doing the outline. So he starts about here. I think, looking back, I made his forehead too tall, so I'm gonna make it a little shorter. So my original line was up here, so I'm gonna move it down a little bit. And then he's got his ears. His ears are just gonna go around, and then there's gonna be a line here, and You just connect his face together. See, I messed up there, it doesn't matter. And now you can see our Oski's kind of coming together now. So we're gonna go with the ears now, and they kind of come in like this in a little circle. And they come in like this in a little circle. And then we're just gonna color them in. So Oski has a bunch of little designs, and you can add those later if you want. You could always make it look more like the picture, but this is just a basic sketch for beginners of how to draw Oski. So we're just gonna color this in. And after we color that in, let's do Oski's eyebrows. So he's got really thick bushy eyebrows, and they're really angry. So let's put them here, right where we sketched the eyebrows last time. And it's totally okay to not follow the lines that you had originally. I am definitely not. I'm adding these little lines underneath that the drawing has, because this Oski has a lot of definition, and you'll see that it's starting to really come together. Oski has these bags under his eyes, so we're going to draw 2 just lines, and then we're just going to draw a bunch of little freckles here where his whiskers would come out. And then he's got a little bit of like little laugh lines, and then here are his dimples. And then now you're mainly done with the drawing. You have to add the cowl hat, of course. So we're gonna draw this line here. We got our cowl hat. And the line in the back. So this is a little hard because it's perspective, but you're gonna draw a kind of curve shape. And that's gonna be so the hat can connect in the back. So this line here shows the front, and then that's the back, and then you have the hat, and then you have the top of the hat. Wonderful. So now it says cowl. So I'm gonna go back with my pencil because I don't trust my freehand, and I'm just gonna write a block letter C. It looks a little bit like a G, but that's okay. A, and then it has a little of the serifs on the bottom. You can add that or you can exclude it if you want. It's up to you. Text is probably the hardest part because everyone knows what letters look like, so you can mess up pretty easily. But don't worry, take your time on this. You can go slower if you want. But I'm just writing cowl, and then I am going to go in with my marker because it's supposed to be darker. In fact, I'm going to go in with my Sharpie to do my lines more precise, and so I'm just going to C, A, L. So you could see, definitely doesn't look perfect, but that's okay. It's just a drawing, and we're just doing this for fun. This isn't a graded art class, and if it was, I definitely don't have the qualifications to teach it. So we're just gonna color in the hat and go around all the lines. And if you want to do this in color, you could, of course, do this in navy blue because that's the color of Oski's hat. And just go in. Okay, so we've got Oski's hat now. Yay! Now the picture is mostly done, but we're gonna add a little bit of shadow because Oski has a lot of fur to make him look a little bit more furry. So it's a technique called stippling. So stippling is little dots that make shadow. So in this Oski, we're gonna do kind of like up and down hash motions. So hash motions to kind of make him, give him more furry effect and make the look a little longer. You could do hashes or little dots. And that's just to add a little bit. So we're gonna do that all around. So he could have a little bit furry ears. This, of course, totally doesn't need to be perfect. I'm kind of jumping around. And it's just gonna give him a little bit more cuddly and furry bear effect. So we're gonna do hashes all around. This could take a little while, so I'm not gonna do them that great so that we can just, you guys can see. But then he has all these little dots everywhere, and they're just little shadow. So he goes all the way down. He's got a little bit of his chin hair, and if you can see on like these little pins, he's got little fur here. So a lot like the way we did with Oski's little freckles. We're just gonna do a little bit of dots. Do where you think looks good. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. Then just more hashes. Then we can like cover up the little mistake I made earlier. Little dots, hashes again. And this is just now your chance to make Oski look as good as you want him to. Now it's your chance to make him kind of more original and unique. And add all these little details to make him look more Oski. He's got a little bit of a furry eyebrow. He's got little dashes here. He's got, I'm gonna put some shadow on the top of his head. And I'm going to put some shading here just to make his ears furry again. So we're doing this on a pretty large piece of paper, but of course, as you can see, I did it on smaller ones. This Oski technique is really just so that you have the opportunity to draw our lovely, lovely mascot as much as you want. And so I'm looking and seeing what I want to fix. I want to add a little bit more of the smirk of his eyes, but that's about it. I'm going to go back in with an eraser that I have right here and erase some of my pencil lines that I don't want there anymore. They're not erasing too well, but that's okay. I'm gonna erase my pencil lines so you can see Oski in his prime. And my lamp just fell. But there you have it. There is Oski. There is your Oski. Thank you so much. And I will stay for any questions you guys all have.